So here we're back again in our market for coffee, coffee cups, not coffee cups, but cups of hot coffee, Starbucks, Peet's, whatever you want to say. And we're trying to look now at what happens when we bring a supply curve and a demand curve together. Because now we have all of the actors in the market, all of the rational actors, suppliers who are willing to sell particular quantities at particular prices, and demanders who are willing to buy particular quantities at particular prices. Increasing marginal costs or increasing marginal profit, decreasing marginal benefit. That's what shapes the curves the way they are. So if we take a look here and see what's going to happen, let's just, for fun, say that we offer coffee. If coffee is going for $5 a cup, we're just picking a price here. At $5 a cup, we want to say, well, how much coffee is the market wanting to buy at that amount? Well, we'll just follow over to the demand curve from 5 and then follow down. And we have quantity. We'll call it Q5 for $5 a cup. So that's great. This is how much coffee people want to buy at $5 a cup. But suppliers would love to supply so much more because there's so much more profit to be made. So we look over here and we see that suppliers want to supply, let's say, okay, let's call this quantity demanded at $5 a cup. This is quantity supplied at $5 a cup. Suppliers would love to sell so much more than demanders would. So if the price is $5, we're going to see Peet's and Starbucks and everybody else getting all sorts of fired up to have all kinds of coffee ready to go. And at the end of the day, they're going to be throwing it out because people didn't want that much. Not at $5. What we have is something called surplus in the market. Surplus in the market. Okay, well, let's say it's not $5 a cup. Let's say it's $1 a cup. Well, at $1 a cup, how much do people? I'm going to change the color here. At $1 a cup, how much do people want? Well, at $1 a cup, people are pretty psyched. Quantity demanded at $1. But suppliers, they're not as psyched about this. They see that at that price, profits are harder to come by, so they're not going to sell as much. Quantity supplied at 1. Look at this gap here. These are customers lined up around the block at $1 a cup, but suppliers are like, not so much. I'm not feeling it. So this is called a shortage. It's called a shortage. A shortage and a surplus are signals that the price is wrong. By that I mean the market, suppliers and demanders combined, are not interested in the product at that price. They're not interested in the product at that price. What happens if you have a surplus? Well, let's think about this. If you get too much coffee on the shelf, the logical thing to do is to cut the price. Suppliers are going to cut the price and the amount that they make the next day. They'll not make as much, and then maybe they'll drop the price. You got too little on the shelf? Let's make some more and charge a higher price. These signals send these prices, these surpluses and shortages send a signal to the market that you're making the wrong amount at the wrong price. And therefore, the market will change. Suppliers will make rational decisions to change the amount that they're going to put up for sale tomorrow. Demanders will make rational decisions about how much they want to buy the next day. Over time, we're going to end up moving towards a price and a quantity that seem to settle at equilibrium. Probably about, in this case, coffee, I'm guessing about $2.50. Quantity, I'm not sure. We can make up a number, but this equilibrium is called the market clearing price. It's called the market clearing price. And we call it the market clearing price because this is the price and quantity at which there's no surplus and there's no shortage. What consumers want to buy, the amount consumers want to buy is equal to the amount that suppliers want to sell. The market is cleared. There's nothing left over. So when we think about market equilibrium and how the market operates, we want to think about the fact that surpluses and shortages in the market are very powerful signals. Surpluses and shortages are not incidental to understanding market theory. They're fundamental to understanding market theory. Evidence of a surplus means the price is too high. Evidence of a shortage means the price is too low. There's profit to be gained by raising the prices. There is profit to be gained by lowering the prices. There's benefit to be gained by buying more at a higher price in the case of a shortage, or buying more at a lower price in the case of a surplus. In other words, the surplus puts pressure on prices to return to equilibrium. The shortage puts pressure on prices to rise to equilibrium. In all cases, this is what we call the invisible hand of the market. Adam Smith came up with that term. He said, if you allow suppliers and consumers, suppliers and demanders, sellers and buyers, to negotiate price, is to go back and forth on price, either literally in the moment or over time, you're going to end up selling the right amount at the right price. At this point here, there are no buyers willing and able to buy the product who go without, and there are no sellers willing and able to sell who don't find a buyer. So this is a market clearing price. This is a market clearing price. This is when markets are working at their best. Now, we call that a dynamic equilibrium, though, because demand curves and supply curves are always making micro shifts. So we never can really lock it in on that price, number one. Number two, markets will respond to surpluses and shortages, but not instantaneously, not literally in the next instant. Some markets respond faster than others, but surpluses and shortages in the market sometimes take time to adjust, so we don't necessarily get to equilibrium right away. There's time lags built in. The stock market adjusts to changes in surpluses and shortages quite quickly. If you're offering a stock for sale at a certain price and you find that there are hundreds of buyers yelling at you, yes, I'll buy, I'll buy, I'll buy, you'll realize that, wow, I am charging too low a price for this stock. And instantly, pretty close to instantly, the price of the stock will change. If we see that there is a big surplus of labor, that there's way more workers than are needed, well, it's hard to just suddenly cut everybody's wages. You can, and certainly people do that, certainly employers do that, but there's a tendency to not just simply change people's wages every single day. You want to retain workers, and if you're constantly changing people's wages because of the market, that's not a good reputation to have as an employer. So a surplus labor, meaning wages that are too high, that might take a while to come down. Also, if there's a shortage, if prices are too low for labor, that might take a while to come up. The labor market responds much more slowly. So markets will respond at different rates.